Welcome to my life as an NPC. I am Scythe, and today we're going to continue to play The Letter, which is a Philippine horror game, which has terrified me more than once already. And we're only on episode 5. Not only that, but I have a headache because I am in the middle of a cold still. And yeah, there's a chance that I might. I will not end this early, but recording this might take longer than I anticipate. So let's see where we end up, shall we? Now, it's time to make good on the promise I made to Becca, I suppose. Which means treating her to some fine dining, because we managed to sell the Ermagerd mansion. Let's go. Maybe invite Zack and Ash too. Yeah, so I already seen this. I don't know why we went back in time to this part though. In the end, only Becca and Zack could come. Ash, on the other hand, couldn't be reached. All my calls went straight to his voicemail. He said it again. Right here today, gone the next day. Oh well, his loss. We have agreed to meet at a nearby cafe. The same one I frequent with Becca because it's cheap and they give away free bread around closing time. Nice. Ooh. Starbucks. Not Starbucks, but Starbucks. Quaint, a little old-fashioned, though looks a wee bit out of place amidst in the city tall buildings. But we love it all the same. Well, it's Starbucks, not Coffee Talk, which is another game that I really did enjoy playing. And look at it. Okay, so it's one thing that these are spinning around, but even this one is dangling from the roof, from the ceiling. I don't know if it's a mechanism that makes it dangle like a grandfather clock, or if it's actually loose up here and about to fall down on this poor dude. Much like its facade, the interior carries an antiquated charm to it. Vintage art pieces and a row of shelves boasting an extensive collection of books cover the walls. Ooh. So you can even stay here and read some books after you're done having a fika. It would have been nice to hang out here for hours on end, but even on a weekend, the place is still packed with people. Thankfully, Becca and Zack have already found seats and are engaged in some casual chatter when I arrive. It's strange seeing the two of them without Ash accompanying the other. They've never been particularly close. Sure, they talk when they meet, laugh at the same things when there's something funny, but this distance. A kind born purely out of differing interests. But I guess they might be a bit closer now after watching that movie. It seems like Rebecca really did enjoy it. That or Zack's simply afraid of Becca. It's not impossible, and I won't blame him if he is. He might be the tallest in our group, but everyone knows that it means nothing against Becca's temper. Even I am a little scared of her.
Zack! Becca! Well, you seem to be in a better mood today. What happened? I know that smile, Belle. Come on, still.
Oh, story update. Ooh, could that be it? I don't think it's anything that happens so early, but story update, that is not something needed unless you branch into different paths. But what if the story also updates with different dialogue depending on your relationships? Huh. So if I manage to piss off Rebecca even more, she's gonna be even more pissy to me in the future. I really like the thought of that. That is what story updated could mean.
Don't rush me. Let's order food first, okay?
A waitress comes by to take our order. On a normal day, me and Becca will order a hearty serving on their special vegetarian stovies. What is a stovey though? I don't know what a stovey is, but vegetarian, that's nice. Not usually part of a visual novel, not part of any games really. Scythe takes anything with a good helping of meat, sausages or potatoes in it. But today is a good day. Great even. It's not wrong to indulge a little, right?
Today's special. For the three of us.
Even the person jotting down our order looks surprised at today's meal choice. She writes it, nevertheless, and leaves without a comment. Becca furrows her eyebrows, her mouth halfway open, ready to let loose what's likely a string of reprimands.
Don't worry. It's my treat.
The glare she sends my way reminds me of the one I received from Mama when I punched a kid bullying my younger brother 18 years ago. Naturally, I never did it again after she made me apologize the next day. But Becca's far from being my mom. A small sheepish grin is enough to turn that frown into a defeated sigh. Food arrives in the middle of our funny story from Zack, putting the rest of the conversation on hold as we are each served our order. It isn't anything fancy. Oh, but that's not vegetarian though. That's potatoes. So, and this is salmon, so most likely Zack's. Sea bass. Pan roasted sea bass with citrus dressed asparagus and a portion of mashed potatoes on the side. Or at least that's what the daily special board says. I never did pay any attention to it whenever I came here, since they price whatever is written way above what I'm willing to spend on food on a single day.
Oh, good. I'm so hungry, I think I'm dying.
Okay, so this is wrong. They are eating fish, but they are vegetarians. If they were pescatarian, that would be one thing.
You're always hungry.
Oh, gee, thanks. Thanks for that, Zack.
Hey, not all the time.
Let me guess. You skipped breakfast again.
Not on purpose. I may have overslept by a few seconds today.
And yet you went up at 5 a.m.
Right then. Stop stalling, Isabella. What's this about?
Bit too loud.
Let us say it, Rebecca. She wouldn't be inviting us out if it wasn't worth hearing out.
Well, we're waiting.
I'm treating you guys to a once-in-a-century thing.
An expectant grin breaks out on my face, except...
I'm sorry, say that again.
And this is important because...
Becca only raises an eyebrow at me, while Zack appears like he didn't get the punchline to another lame joke Ash made, and is desperately searching for something to explain it. Oh, bummer. Maybe I should rephrase it. That's funny. But let's see, what did we say though? Not journal, backlog, here we go. I'm treating you guys to a once-in-a-century thing. Okay. My instant noodle days are over. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Let me do that again.
And who did we get a increase with? Both of them. Zachary and Rebecca both like me more now. Good.
Guess what, guys? I'm paying! I sold the house!
As the news sinks in, their expression goes from sheer bewilderment to utter surprise. That's more like it.
You heard me right, ladies and gentlemen. As of today, I'm Maria Isabella Grace Cruz Santos and free from my instant noodle binge.
Maria Isabella Grace Cruz Santos. Which is a very interesting string of names considering that she's from the Philippines. To the best of my knowledge. But this also it does explain why her mother called her Grace and not Isabella.
Seriously?
Hold it, Belle. You sold the house?
I'm sorry?
Yep.
Why are you so surprised about that?
Which house is this? In Anslem Village? The one with the open house yesterday?
The one and only. Come on, Becca. I know you've got a better memory than that.
Oh, wow. That's...
She lets out a hum. Although she's nodding, she gives the impression of someone who has heard something unbelievable and is still forcing her brain to absorb it. Did she think we wouldn't be able to sell it? Have some faith in me, Becca. Am I not your best friend or what?
You don't believe me?
The words stumbled out of my mouth before I could stop them. I've been trying to avoid bringing up yesterday's little spat. Judging from the looks on their faces, it seems they are too. Me and my stupid mouth.
I'm sure it ain't the way you're thinking, Bella.
No, I do believe you. But don't you think the sale happened a bit too fast? The open house only started yesterday, and now you already have a buyer?
Well, yeah, I would agree with that, but the right pair is just brain dead.
It happens from time to time.
Yeah, but look, I'm happy for you. Just yesterday, you've been really worried where to get money for your dad's new treatment. And now, all of a sudden, you have something. What if the sale doesn't push through, or I don't know, they're a fraud, or they suddenly back out? Isn't it a little too early to celebrate?
That would be a strange fraud, though. It's not a private affair. They're doing it through a company. And the company, as big as this, would most likely be able to track them down. How would a fraud like that even work? I have no idea how frauds work in the first place. But it doesn't really hold up, does it?
Rebecca does have a point, Bella. If you haven't closed the deal yet, there's still a chance they'll go back on it.
That's one thing, yeah.
They don't seem like it to me. The lady appeared to really want it, and she approached me without even finishing the tour.
Pressured me into it, more likely. But I'm not going to tell Beck about that. Knowing her, she'd only worry.
And she already hired someone to handle the house's interior design.
You're joking. Who would do that?
The Wrights, apparently. It's actually pretty funny. She's a bit too excited to get the property, she forgot to buy it.
Oh. What?
At any rate, they've already signed the agreement today, so it's just a matter of time. And don't tell anyone about this, but Ma'am Hannah also gave us something extra.
Hannah? You're saying Hannah, not Hannah.
Something as in...
As in, it's why I can treat you two to a free meal.
I'm most surprised you accepted it.
She didn't really give us a choice in the matter. So don't lose sleep over this, okay? The couple really want the house. If Rose didn't stop them, they'd likely have paid up front for it yesterday. That's despite the legends, too. I even tried to show them the letter. But nope. I want this house, darling. Go take all our money.
Shut up and take my money.
You don't really think they'd believe that, do you? I'm pretty sure for them, those are just rumors as well. No one is that superstitious in this day and age, Belle. Well, there's you.
Oof.
Right. You know what? I'll just eat all of these by myself.
I begin to gather the plates to my side, the food in each, still untouched. A laugh almost escapes my mouth with the way Zach's expression quickly changes to disappointment. Becca's hand interrupts me just as I'm about to pull her plate closer to me.
I'm kidding. Don't go all pouty on me again. I'm just concerned you'll get hurt if this doesn't happen. I know how badly you want to close this deal for your papa.
I'm sure he's gonna be fine now, though, with the money. They don't know yet. I think I'll call them tomorrow. Let them know things will be easier. Mama said this morning he's showing progress with the new treatment, too. It's just a matter of time.
I allow myself to smile, genuine and uninhibited. It's strange talking about this with other people, even those who have known you long enough. But today, things simply feel a whole lot better, whole lot lighter with them here. Lunch passes in an enjoyable fashion. A laugh here, a playful jab there, but most of it is spent on catching up on telling stories about whatever keeping us busy these days. Something we couldn't afford to do the day before, taking into account what happened. Even Becca's surprisingly chatty. It says something in the sea bass we ate, which is really weird considering you're vegetarian, or ordered a vegetarian stovey, whatever that is. Zack, though, appears less energetic. While he's far from being the life of the party, he's definitely not the type to keep quiet in a conversation with his friends. Apart from a few inputs, he's been silent the entire time. If Becca notices...
Are you sure you're not feeling under the weather, Zachary?
Huh? No, I'm okay. No worries, Rebecca.
Doesn't sound okay to me.
It's okay. I might be feeling a little bummed out today, but I'm sure this will pass.
Your movie didn't do all that good, huh?
Is it about the reviews this morning?
The pain expression crosses Zack's face, and almost immediately, Becca retreats in her inquiry, as though the man's look is enough of an answer for her. I look between the two of them. Did I miss something? What happened this morning? Did I stumble on a big secret? This is why I don't like waking up late.
You heard about those, huh?
Sorry, I just happened to check on some sites this morning.
Nah, it's a very sensitive topic in the first place. I should have expected it.
What reviews?
Becca glances at Zack, her emotions unsure, eyes asking for his consent on the matter. Although there is a small desire to keep asking on my part, I don't dare voice it out. With Zack, it has always been better to wait, let him speak on his own. Becca too, to some extent, although with her, explosions of temper are more common. In the end, he simply answered with a shift of his shoulders, gesturing for her to go on with a tilt of his head.
It's his movie.
That doesn't explain anything. Stop dangling the information, Becca.
Zachary, I'm not the one supposed to be telling her about this. It's still your documentary.
Oh, it's a documentary, not just a movie. Sheesh.
Is it something bad?
Not bad per se. You guys don't need to dwell on it much.
Bad? Listen here. I wouldn't trivialize what those bowheads wrote if I were you. They're ruining other people's jobs.
Bowheads. Never heard of that. From how her tone rises in anger, it seems like she's the one slighted and not Zack. A snicker escapes me, which I promptly stamped down on as soon as she sends me a hard look.
This isn't a laughing matter, Isabella. Some bowbag just insulted him.
Wow, is she going full Scottish, Irish, Welsh, something like that?
Calm down, Rebecca. Those are just reviews, and it happens a lot.
I do not ken about you two, but calling the entire film an out-and-out dribble, you're better off watching an educational kids' TV show, and worst 1.5 hour of my life, among other things, isn't exactly a critique any decent movie reviewer would say.
Yeah, I do agree with that, and I didn't ken. I don't know how to say it, especially not with the stuffy nose. But I'm guessing Irish?
If you could call that a critique! Did we even watch the same film?
Well, maybe I ain't cut out for it. Better stick with my photography or something. If nothing else, this helped me open my eyes to what I can and can't do.
You're giving up.
It wasn't a question.
It was just something experimental I did on my free time anyway. It's no big deal.
But you worked on it for months.
Doesn't look like it matters for those people.
Don't say that!
Gee, stop screaming. My palm strikes the table, sending the tableware on top clinking against each other. I didn't even notice when I rose from my seat. But here I am, chest heaving, looking down at him in the same manner a teacher would at an unruly student. Becca's probably proud. I didn't mean to yell, but there are some things people like Zack aren't supposed to say. How exasperating. He, of all people, should know.
It's just a review.
Except they're pretty well-known critics.
Yeah, but that is why we also have things like Rotten Tomatoes, which gives you 2 scores. A public opinion, and, well, I don't use Rotten Tomatoes myself, but I get the gist of it. Actual movie reviewers, and then public opinion.
Why does that matter? They aren't the ones calling the shots on this. Isn't that why they have a committee? Right, Becca?
An amused gleam is in her eyes when I turn to her. What does she find so entertaining here? Help me here! Your friend's about to quit his passion for a petty reason. I haven't read what those people wrote about his work, but a few scathing words shouldn't be enough to discourage someone. I should know. After all, I'm...
Failing means you're playing, Zach. Not that I'm saying it's bad. I've seen it from start to finish, and I know for myself what you created isn't something people should scoff at. I don't know anything about filming or photography. Hell, I don't have an inkling of artistry in me except for those doodles I make for class. But I know what I watched. Look at Isabella. It's not every day you see her all riled up like this.
Whatever I'm about to say gets lost in my tongue as a flush of embarrassment blooms across my face.
It was a heat of the moment thing. And anyway, I'll be very angry with you if you quit. What about the exhibit?
What exhibit?
Classified information.
Even if I bring you your favorite tonight?
Nope, not a chance.
Oh, come on! I thought we aren't supposed to have secrets.
A burst of laughter comes from Zach.
Thanks, you two. I might need some time alone to myself for a while. Just to think about things, how I'll go from here, that sort of stuff. Hey, I'm not quitting, Bella. Don't give me that face.
There's no face at all. Only a poor imitation of puppy dog eyes. If I could call this one.
Promise?
I'll be damned if I break any promise I make to you guys. Besides, you're right. It's too early to say anything right now. What's night ain't for another week?
And that's all the answer I need from him. As sentimental as it sounds, there's a fulfillment in knowing another person you know won't take the same path you walked. It's not like it's over for me though. I still have time. I could still come back. Do my own thing. Do what I really want to do. Surely, once Papa recovers, once I'm done with everything. Inside my bag, my phone buzzes unexpectedly, breaking a pleasant afternoon lull. The screen shows Rose.
Hey, Isabel. You at the office?
Do not call me Isabel.
Ha ha. Very funny, Rose. I'm hanging up.
Don't, I'm kidding. BRC says the floor plan copies are ready for Miss McCullough to pick up.
McCullough. She states that as if it already explains everything. Then, out of the blue, she launches a long rant about an awful state of Luxborn streets. All of which she says is in a single breath that I can barely keep up and make out a single word. I stay quiet, if only to avoid becoming the next object of her frustration. She's similar to Becca in that regard.
I'm stuck in horrendous traffic right now. Bloody stupid drivers.
When she has finally run out of things to complain about and stops, what she says next still has none of what I'm hoping to hear from her. Just a quick mumbled plea for me to meet the right interior designer in her stead. And then...
Anyway, I'll leave it to you. Bye, thanks.
Gee, thanks. Classic Rose. She sends the call without even asking for my input. She ends the call. Journal update. The sky is cloudless and the noontime sun is beating down on the hard concrete when we leave the cafe. New here. A day after the open house, Rice was securing the mansion purchase of Briar at Briar Realty's Luxburn office. Parties involved in the transaction were surprised at how fast it went, but agreed it was to be expected when dealing with influential people like the Wrights. Happy over the sale, Isabella Santos treated her friends to lunch. It's far from unbearable, but it's enough to put most people in a fickle mood or make them vulnerable to catching something. No wonder we have staff members going AWOL lately, not to mention my boss mercurial moods. Can't believe I'm saying this, but I want our usual cloudy weather back. For all the gripes about the unpredictable weather, though, the streets of Luxborn remain constantly busy. The hurried tapping of shoes against the pavement and inane chatter coming from the lunchtime crowd fill the humid afternoon air. A small reminder of the things we still have to do, regardless of how much I want to return to the comfort of my bed. Back to Briar Realty for me, Zack to a meeting with a magazine publisher featuring luxury houses, and Becca to her lesson plans and book at home. But more than once I catch a sneaking longing glance over something displayed on a shop window. Did she want to buy something? Maybe I can get it for her this Christmas. I turn my head at the last shop she checked out. A fleeting glimpse. The world stills. Oh, fuck you! She looks at me, eyes hollow, ears piercing, and pouring into my very soul, like a set of chains to keep my whole body still. There are no shadows of whispering this time, only a plea. A hum, low and indistinct, compelling me, beckoning me, intent on dragging me to the void beyond the glass. Fuck you! I am so ready to end my life right here, you know? I don't dare move. My heart hammers against my ribs, each beat, every thump, screaming at me to look away and make a run for it. But I can't. I couldn't. All my limbs feel heavy, while my own breathing strains in the face of her calls. That is so horrifying.
Leave me alone.
Her mouth is stretched in a grin wide and unpleasant. The panic building up in my chest forces me to take a tentative step back. I try not to stare at the decaying flesh, the blood streaming from the gaping wounds on her arm, or her nailless fingers. I don't want this. Not like this. Not after I got what I want for Papa.
No, stop. Leave me alone.
Oh! Fuck you! Her face contorts and she lets out a wail sharp and utterly unforgiving. Rage. It's only her hatred and bitterness, as if the very notion of turning away from her is an offense in itself.
Please! I don't want this!
Before I know it, I'm stumbling backwards, my own throat, hoarse from the screams I didn't even notice I already coming out of my mouth. The back of my feet catches on a loose stone, sending me sprawling on the ground. The resulting pain completely jolts me out of the haze blurring my mind. For a little while, my surroundings appear unfamiliar until Becca's face swims into my vision. A look of concern is on her face and her hands are gripping my arms tight. Even Zack appears beside himself with worry while he stands behind her, acting as a shield against the small crowd of onlookers already forming around us.
What happened?
Bella, you okay?
My mouth opens and closes, but nothing comes out. The words refuse to form. On impulse, I sneak a swift glance at the display window. She's gone. Yet the foreboding feeling hasn't left me. My hands are shaking as I push myself off the ground, my weakened limbs relying solely on reflex and muscle memory. Something icy has made its home at the pit of my stomach. I want to throw up. Anything to get that wretched sensation out.
You are screaming. Zack, call someone!
No, don't. I'm good. I need to get to the office. Rose, the floor plans. Someone's going to pick it up. I'll see you later.
Very cute face here.
Careful. Don't stand up yet. Stay put, Isabella. Zack, you watch over her for me. I'll call for someone.
Journal update. I attempt to smile to put her at ease, but it likely comes off as a grimace. Gently, I push her off, her hands off my shoulders. Ooh, that's a good way of putting it. I thought we were going to see a rendering of that scary ass face. After a pleasant lunch with Zachary Steele and Rebecca Gales, Isabella Santos received an urgent phone call from Rose Cooper, asking her to meet with the Wright's interior designer. Left with no choice, she hurried back to BRC, but on her way, on one of the shops she passed by, a furious smile greeted her. My knees are still trembling, but I can stand. Leave. Leave me. Stay away. Away. The humidity is stifling. Everyone's stares are unnerving. And Becca and Zack's concerns are suffocating. I don't want to be here. No more. I break into a run. I wish I hadn't left my bed this morning. Here, with only the occasional drips of water off the sink and the whirring of the fan blades to keep me company, it's easy to fall into a cycle of negative thinking. But even with the clutter to keep me company, the room still feels a whole lot bigger than usual. I hug my knees closer as a group passes by outside. Loud. So loud. If only there was a way to tune everything out, to keep my head from replaying every image, every sound I hear of her. Her screams, her awkward gait as she reaches for me, her bone-chilling smile, her pleas for... Enough! That's enough! A shiver passes over me, though it's not from the hair still hanging damp against my back, nor the draft that enters the room from the windows are left wide open. My gaze shifts over to the letter sitting on the coffee table. Its edges flutter innocuously as the wind touches it. Funny how ordinary looking piece of paper can bring this much trouble. The impulse to throw it away or rip it to pieces is still there. I can easily do it, but after that, what? Will she leave me? What about those people who have already seen it? Would they be okay? This uncertainty gnaws at me. Knowing that she's real and might also go after the people I care about. I just wish someone would listen. Believe me. The abrupt break in silence nearly makes me jump out of my skin. Blindly I fish out my phone from under the mess of papers and cushions, where I have carelessly thrown it before taking a shower hours ago. Zack name flashes brightly on the screen. Is he calling because of this afternoon? Frankly, it's the last thing I want to discuss, and now I also see this sheep plushie, which is Young's Mobile's logotype. Frankly, it's the last thing I want to discuss, but I did leave the two of them there without saying anything. Knowing Zack, I bet he's worried.
Hey, Zack.
Oh, good. I thought for sure you're not gonna pick up.
Sorry, it took me a while to find my phone.
No worries. You game tomorrow?
I pause. I don't recall making plans for Zack for the weekend.
Did I forget something?
It appears that I forgot to tell my friend this earlier that we are going on a concert tomorrow. So I record these videos 1 week in beforehand. It gives me appropriate time to edit them and things. But tomorrow, on June 14th, I'm going back to Gröna Lund, even though I still have a cold. And I am going to watch Disturbed live. It's going to be awesome. I was going to see them in 2019, but Corona broke out and it got cancelled. But now, 3 years later, here we are, back at it again. I'm so gonna enjoy it. And my friend told me today that I haven't told him the date previous to this. So I almost screwed it up.
Remember that guy I told you about? Back in the movies? The,
Oh, yeah.
priest? For the blessing? Does it ring a bell?
Oh, right. I did say that, but I didn't think he'd actually go through the trouble. Especially after what happened with his film. Sometimes I forget how kind Zack can be.
Yeah, I remember. Is he fine with it?
My friend doesn't mind. We're lucky he's not busy. So, tomorrow, he'll meet us at the mansion.
Okay. Sorry for the trouble, Zack.
Hey, no problem. I'm the one who suggested it to begin with. And, well, this afternoon you did surprise us. Never seen you scream like that. You scared the hell out of Rebecca.
I guess I owe you a lot for this, huh?
Nah, we're cool. You had us worried, but I know you'll tell us about it eventually. I just want to make sure you're doing well. You left all of a sudden and you're not answering any of our calls.
He's trying to get me to talk. Normally, I tell him I'm fine, say a few simple reassurances to put their minds at ease. Now nothing will form. I can't bring myself to say anything. He seems to have sensed my hesitation because he immediately changes the subject.
Yeah, anyway, I gotta go. I left something on the stove before making this call. Just soup. But it'd be embarrassing if I burned soup.
I doubt it. Ashton, on the other hand...
Oh, remind me to tell you about what he did with the pressure cooker next time.
Yeah, you need to be careful with pressure cookers because, you know, there's pressure in them and they can go boom. Yeah.
Oh, damn, it overflowed!
Even the sound effects for it.
Really need to get going. Bye, Bella.
He hangs up before I can thank him. The busy tone, though muffled, echoes through the receiver. No one is saying this will work. Even I am doubtful it will. But right now, I'll take anything. Anything to get out of this nightmare. Sleep comes easier tonight. Let's check the journal updates. I think we got 2? No, just 1. Well, don't you look hella fancy. Zachary Steele reminded Isabella Santos of the Ermengarde's Manson blessing tomorrow. They will be accompanied by Father Norman, a well-known priest in the Anglican and Christian communities. He is described to be a warm and approachable person, especially by youth. Maybe we got something in a relationship? No. But Zach really likes me now. Oh, Hana. Wait! Oh, there he is, Luke, there he is. Oh, Luke and Hana do not care for me, and I do not mind it being that way. Sleep comes easier tonight, and for the first time in a long time, I dream. Of clear skies, of unrestrained laughter from children playing in the streets, and of small cramped dwellings. To an outsider, the sight does not paint a pretty picture. However, this is home to me. October 23rd, Sunday. You need to clean up, lady. Morning dawns bright and clear the following day. It wasn't this messy just the previous day, was it? Jeez. Although the air still feels muggy and I miss the chilly autumn weather, it's one of those rare weekends when I'm up even before my alarm rings. If it wasn't for Zach's call last night, I'd probably sleep in. When 9 AM rolls around, I'm already on my way to the Ermengarde mansion. To think that I'd have to go back again. I'd be lying if I say I'm excited. I don't have to anymore. Rose happily gave me the paperwork duty when I volunteered. We're on the last phase of the sale too. Well, almost. Papers to sign, documents to finalize, various other legalities to settle with the current owner, and all that still. Never mind that it's the new owners want everything done within the week, when the process typically takes more than that. You want it done? Well, get it done. I really don't understand rich people. But money can do wonders. I wouldn't be surprised if they'd be able to push the process just a little more, like what they did to secure the house. The point is, I'm under no obligation to return to the house anymore. Running is an option, of course. I can now move on to another property and forget everything. However, at the end of the day, it's always my conscience that wins. What if something happens to those who have seen the letter? Ash, Zach, Becca, Miss McCullough, the Wrights. The guilt will follow me to my grave. The mansion looms as we approach. Whispers welcoming me back, shadows calling. I hope this is the last time. They are engaged in a quiet conversation when I find them in the mansion's front gardens. But even with familiar company, it's impossible to feel at ease here. No matter who I'm with, the feeling of being watched is there. Like the very place itself is aware of its trespassers. Zach, on the other hand, doesn't seem to notice. Or he simply doesn't care, or is already used to it. I could never tell with him. Sometimes Sometimes he's almost as harder to read as Ash. Almost. At least Zack doesn't ask for as much patience as dealing with Ash does. And that says plenty about him. Miracle on miracles, how the two have ended up the best of friends. He waves at me as I approach, true to his promise. Zack has also brought his friend with him. Father Norman. Somehow, I expected him to look older.
Oh, don't be surprised. They say people who have found their calling are getting younger these days.
Yeah, but you sound old too.
Sorry, Father. I didn't mean to say that out loud.
No offense taken. Though I admit I'm a bit surprised. I didn't think someone would ask this house to be blessed after all these years.
You've heard of it, Father?
Well, of course.
In passing, the occasional rumors and talk by the locals, nothing new. You don't spend years serving the church here without hearing a random hearsay here and there.
You never mentioned what you thought of those, Father.
Ah, but he who goes down to the grave does not come up. He shall never return to his house, nor shall his place know him any more.
Okay.
But what I saw...
May not be what you think. It depends entirely on what you mean by it. If you're talking about spirit beings, angels, demons, then yes. Are we talking about the spirits of people who have departed? The word makes it clear that once the deceased has left us, they are gone. But of course, I didn't come here to bore you with a lecture.
No, it was enlightening, Father. Thank you.
Just remember that a God who loves his children would never let them linger once the time comes.
That's what my papa often tells me.
Your father must be a good man. He raised you well, no doubt. Well then, shall we?
We shall.
Regardless of what it is, I'm sure the mansion's new owners would appreciate such sincere intentions. From a stranger, no less.
He lets Zack and I walk ahead. A relief. A relief. This way he won't see how tightly I'm clutching the straps on my back. Father Norman is probably trying to put me at ease. But the worry, the cold, restless, foreboding feeling, has formally lodged itself in my stomach, making its presence known with every step we take towards the house.
Hey, you okay?
Zack lightly nudges my side, carefully, mindful of his emotions, to avoid startling me, no doubt. Yeah. It's hard to lie when Zack gives you that look. And I like Zack the most so far. Have we even talked to Marianne? Oh yeah, that's the decorator. Right. McCullough. It's just there. The kind that implores. A silent appeal. I'm not sure if he's even doing it consciously. Another breeze blows and I try not to shiver. Try not to listen to the voices that may or may not be there.
Ugh, this place really gives me the creeps.
It doesn't seem more than an ordinary house to me, though. Damn, I should have brought my camera with me. I saw a few areas that'd be good for a shoot. You think the new owners will allow it?
Shh! What if you catch something? Or someone in one of the pictures?
It just means they want to be seen, doesn't it?
Ooh.
Don't ask for it!
It's not like we can stop them if they do.
You're really not helping, Zack.
All right, sorry. Don't worry. I don't think whatever's inside this house will do anything. I'm here, yeah? I'll take care of them. Or I think I can.
You're not that scary, but thanks. I'll be sure to run behind you if I see one.
Ridiculous talk, though the temporary reprieve it lends is more than welcome. He offers me a smile in return, the least he could do. And with a slight motion of his head, he gestures us for us to move ahead, while my own fears are left forgotten for the time being. The things inside my bag clatter softly against each other while I rummage for the keys to the mansion. I should have heard the telltale jiggle by now. But didn't I put it in my bag last night? Seconds later, I'm sitting on my heels, and one after another, I'm taking out everything from every pocket, every slip. It'll be a pain to put everything back later, but I'm sure it's just under these... nothing. Oh man. Of all the times to
Is
forget.
something the matter?
No, I'm sorry, Father. I think I left the key.
No use coming up with excuses. And right after they've both taken the time to go this far away from the city. With a heavy sigh, I grabbed the door handle to pull myself up, a string of apologies ready at the tip of my
Careful,
tongue.
Bella!
We've spoken with the current owners. Well, technically, you're not yet the owners, but...
There's a brief moment of confusion. And then, I'm falling. The momentum of the door swinging open pulls me back first into the mansion foyer, before I can make sense of what's happening.
Ow, 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 my back.
And now that we're inside the Ermengarde mansion again, I am going to cut off for today's episode. I did get a bit of a fright there at one point, didn't I? Well, this game is phenomenal so far, and we haven't even seen anything yet. All I know is that Zack is my favorite character so far, and this story is going to scare the living hell out of me. So yeah. If you want to see anything else that I've been playing or want to come back to see this game, you better make sure to get back here in the future. But remember, just because you're not the main character doesn't mean you're not important. Goodbye, everyone.